Now, farmers are the target for ACT's new high-profile candidate. Don Nicholson, former Federated Farmers President, will be standing for the party at the next election. He'll be vying for the Clutha Southland seat against Finance Minister Bill English. But the ACT Party Leaders Week may well have been focused on race relations after a controversial newspaper ad and a television debate with Maori Party co-leader Peter Sharples. Don Brash joins me now. Good morning, Mr Brash.
Good morning, Rachel.
What did that debate achieve? It was pretty good theatre, granted, but did it achieve anything?
Well, it enabled both Peter Sharples and me to state our views in a sensible, I think, respectful way. I respect Peter Sharples. I think he respects me, and it was a courteous debate. It didn't reach any meeting of the minds, that's for sure. Peter Sharples believes that Maori do require a special status in New Zealand with special legislative rights, different voting rights and so on. I fundamentally disagree with that. I accept absolutely his comment that Maori are at the wrong end of many social statistics, unemployment, crime and so on. But in the view of the ACT Party, that's the problem with the education system and the problem with the welfare system.
OK, Peter Sharples says that you're totally out of tune with Middle New Zealand and the aspirations of Middle New Zealand and what people here have, the aspirations for this country. I think he's probably right, Mr Brash. I don't think Middle New Zealand thinks that we're progressing as a country when we continue to put the boot into Maori. Why do you do it?
Well, of course, we're not putting the boot into Maori at all. You recall there was some media speculation during the weekend about the advertisement which did not run. That talked about the Maorification of everything, and I vetoed that ad because it did imply the problem was Maori. And that's not the problem. The problem is Maori radicals who want to give Maori additional voting rights to the rest of New Zealanders. Let's take the Auckland Council as one example. Maori tried to get special seats on the Auckland Council. That was vetoed by Rodney Hyde, I think correctly. But instead we got foisted with a Maori statutory board which enables unelected Maori to have voting rights on most of the Auckland Council's committees. Now, what's that about?
You're talking about a very small percentage of the population here, though, Dr Brash. Are you not igniting poor race relations in this country?
I think a large number of New Zealanders, particularly in provincial New Zealand, but in fact throughout Auckland as well, resent the fact that these special rights are being created. I mean, Article 3 of the Treaty of Waitangi is something which is absolutely fundamental to our future, namely that all New Zealanders have the same rights and privileges as British subjects. Fantastic basis for any country, and we're departing from that in so many areas.
OK, John Key's made it pretty clear that he's not fussed with respect about working with you after this election. That is quite clear. Why don't you set about building some bridges with National instead of, in effect, burning them?
Well, I don't see myself as burning them. Realistically,
we have accused him of pandering to Maori radicals.
Well, I'm accusing successive governments, Labour and National. National, for a long time, has stood for one law for all. And what I'm saying is the National Party's been saying that in opposition, but hasn't been delivering it in government.
OK, why not focus then on, instead of pointing out all the time what's wrong, why not focus on some positive policy? What are you going to do? And what can you do?
Let's be realistic here. Most of the speeches I give are about the economy, where I think one of the biggest single issues facing the country is we're not growing as a country, incomes are not increasing, we're not narrowing the gap with Australia, we're borrowing $300 million a week, but those comments don't get reported. When I talk about race, they do get reported.
Well, it's always going to be the case, though, isn't it? It's the old race card that comes out in an election, and you raised it with your billboards.
No. I mean, you accuse me of using the race card. In fact, it's the media using the race card. They don't report me when I talk about the other important things which are on the ACT Party agenda.
But it's the nature of our culture here, isn't it? If anybody plays the race card, of course we're going to report it.
Well, listen, most New Zealanders want every New Zealander to be treated equally under the law. That's a very, very widespread view and belief. Successive governments have ignored that.
OK, let's take a little diversion for a moment, Mr Brash. Can we assume that you agree with John Key on his stance that he's taken with the Sri Lankan asylum seekers? He says they're criminals. Do you agree?
I don't know whether they're criminals or not, but I do agree that we cannot afford as a country to have an open door to anybody who wants to come here. That's certainly true.
All right, and that's where it lies. Tell me a little bit now about Don Nicholson, the former Federated Farmers President. I know you're going to stand him against Bill English. Are you targeting farmers now?
Absolutely. Farmers are, I think, an important market for the ACT Party. They're very aggrieved by the ETS. They're aggrieved about the Resource Management Act. They're aggrieved about a whole range of issues which this government isn't delivering for them. But let's be clear, he's standing in Clutha Southland, but he's not expecting or even trying to beat Bill English in Clutha Southland. Indeed, we're very comfortable with Bill English being the member for Clutha Southland. What we're saying in Clutha Southland is, by all means, vote for Bill English with your electorate vote. Use your party vote to support ACT.
All right, Dr. Don Brash, appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.